Guys, happy Sunday morning. I hope all is well in your world. It is all well here at Enough Said Sports. We hit last night on the NBA parlay of the day. We also, of course, because of that, we went undefeated yesterday and hit both picks in the Clippers game and did a nice job on that and definitely feeling good about that. And we start a new week today. Obviously, it's the first day of the week is Sunday, so we start a new week, and we'll try to see if we can hit a couple more parlays. And definitely been fortunate this week to be able to get two of them. They're so hard to hit, so real excited about that stuff, and really fortunate to be on the right track here. So I want to talk to you about a game that transpired last night and do a preview for the Los Angeles Clippers versus the Utah Jazz. Game 4 that's going to be coming on tomorrow, June 14th, 10:05 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And want to do a preview and prediction for that game. But first, we're going to rewind back to last night, talk about what happened last night. I went with the Clippers last night, and definitely I was in the minority in that pick. Most people went with the Jazz, and I had put out on Twitter, for those of you who follow us on Twitter, I had put out on Twitter when I saw the line move up to 5 to not take the cheese. Vegas definitely took advantage of a lot of people last night on this particular matchup. Lots of people went with the Utah Jazz. It looks like it was about 92% of the betting public were on the Jazz and the points. And Vegas is tricky sometimes, and they knew what I knew, which was the Los Angeles Clippers are just better than the Utah Jazz, and it's just a matter of whether or not the Clippers are going to show up and play to the level that they are capable of playing. And last night you saw it, and when this team is hitting three-pointers like that and they're defending the way that they defended last night, even though the Jazz, I thought, played really, really well offensively. They hit a lot of contested three-pointers. It seemed like every time they had open three-pointers, for the most part, they knocked them down. They did a really nice job on that. They really don't really have answers for the Los Angeles Clippers whenever Paul George is cooking the way that he was last night. He definitely has left a lot to be desired in this series and really throughout the playoffs. And this is really the first really good game I've seen him have in a while in the playoffs, in a big spot here. And it was good to see him finally have a good game, and hopefully he can continue that momentum and continue to play well. Kawhi Leonard was outstanding, and the others, I call them the others, whether you want to say Reggie Jackson, Marcus Morris Sr., Luke Kennard, all of these guys, they hit threes with regularity, and they did a really great job last night, and they shot what they normally shoot. And that's the thing about this team, is that by percentage, they're the highest by percentage three-point shooting team in the history of the NBA this year, and they showed it last night. And when they're playing like that, and they're playing good defense, it's hard. It's hard. It's going to be hard for anybody to beat them. But the problem with the Clippers is that, they don't always play motivated. They get lackadaisical. They start clipping, and they just seem like they're just not there. And last night I knew in a big spot that they would show up, and they did just that. So on the other side, the Utah Jazz, I thought they played really well. I don't think they could play too much better. I know that sounds crazy because of the final score and what they ended up losing the game by, but I don't think they could do much better than they did. I thought they played quite well for the most part. Donovan Mitchell played pretty well. Jordan Clarkson certainly played well. You just didn't have enough talent. That's just all it was to it, to deal with the Los Angeles Clippers last night. And that was the difference in the game, really, is that, when the Los Angeles Clippers show up, it's going to be an uphill climb. I don't care who you are, what team you are in the playoffs this year. It's going to be a tough one. So fast forward into game 4 here. couple concerns for the Utah Jazz. Looks like Donovan Mitchell tweaked that ankle pretty good last night there toward the end of the game. He looked like he was going to probably try to re-enter the game, and I think Quinn Snyder made a decision that the game was, out of reach, so didn't want to risk him there. I think he probably could have came back and played. I expect him to play. He's definitely going to play in Game 4. And I'm really surprised that Mike Conley isn't back yet. That hamstring injury must be a little bit more severe than we initially thought. All indications were is that he was, possibly going to miss Game 1 and then play the rest of the way, but he isn't playing. So that thing must be really, really bothering him. So it's hard to anticipate on whether or not he's going to come out and play in Game 4 here. If at all possible, I'm sure he will at this point, because the level of urgency has to be pretty high, even though they are up 2-1. It just seems like if the Los Angeles Clippers are able to tie this series, all the momentum will swing back in LA's favor, and they'll cut it down to a best of 3 there, being tied 2-2. So the spread in the game is 5 points again. I believe the over-under is, let me look and see, it's 223.5 again, which I'm actually surprised about, considering how far they went over last night. And that's what the line is at the moment. I'm assuming if Mike Conley comes back, that's probably worth a half a point to a point there in the Utah Jazz's favor, and probably end up at a -4 line in the end if he does in fact play. The way I see this contest, guys, I think the Los Angeles Clippers feel the urgency. I think they're in a spot here where they're going to come out and they're going to play very, very well again. I see them shooting the ball extremely well, and I see them having a similar result to what they had in Game 3. I think the Clippers are going to be locked in. They're going to be locked and loaded from downtown. They're going to shoot a really high percentage. I think Donovan Mitchell's ankle is probably a little bit compromised, and I think that's going to definitely hinder the Utah Jazz a little bit here in this contest. And I see another double-digit victory for the Los Angeles Clippers in this contest. And I also see them going over again, because I think the Utah Jazz are going to fight, scratch, and claw. They're an excellent three-point shooting team. They have all my respect. They're a very, very good team. So I expect them to show up and show out as well. And I think they're going to play well. I just don't think they're going to be able to deal with the Los Angeles Clippers in this one. So I got the Clippers -5, and I also have them going over 223.5 in this one. Those are my 2 picks for this game. Thanks, guys, as always, for watching. Let me know in the comments what you think. It's an absolute pleasure to interact with you guys in the comments. Really appreciate all the support. We're over 300 subscribers. Thank you so much again. And I hope you guys are getting a lot of benefit from the channel. And also keep in mind, follow us on Twitter. We were able to correctly hit a halftime bet last night. Also, we had the Clippers +3 for the second half. That paid out really good. It paid out +135. So definitely take advantage of that, of those opportunities there. So follow us on Twitter. I'm going to leave the Twitter handle there in the comments. So thanks, guys. Have a great one, and I'll catch up with you later on. We got a couple games coming on tonight, or today and tonight. The Brooklyn Nets and the Milwaukee Bucks and the Phoenix Suns and Denver Nuggets, and they're both of them are Game 4s there. I did preview videos on both of those, guys. I'm about to do the NBA parlay of the day here in a few minutes, but definitely catch those for some in-depth analysis on both of those matchups. Thanks, guys. Have a wonderful Sunday. Talk to you soon.